So, guys, we are starting a game plan session, 27th March. And for those who have not attended any previous sessions, let me give you an outline of what we do here, what is intended. It's a club basically, so it's not just that I need to be doing the talking, but yes, I'd like to do major part of the talking because I've been doing research around it. I have some ideas, themes to discuss, so that makes it a bit simpler. Of course, you're free to add in your thoughts and comments if you are watching certain industries, if you're watching certain stocks, or you're planning to buy some of these. What is the outlook? What could be the right price for entry and exits? Something of that sort. If you're interested, we can have a discussion around it. Just to give you a sense about me, I carry nearly 20 years of experience in business and financial research. Previously, I was working in news houses like NDTV and consulting firms like McKinsey and BCG. And I carry a lot of exposure to Indian and US markets, so keep a watch on them. And that's what I teach. I follow a thematic approach. And since all of us somehow are connected, we have done some courses together. We have learned some F&O activity. We have done some technical analysis. We've done some value investing. So a lot of these ideas actually feed in well to whatever you have learned. As we start the journey, this is a disclaimer in short. Whatever we are going to discuss today is for education purpose only. There is no recommendation. Each individual has its own risk taking ability, capacity, and level of understanding of a particular stock or a particular industry. So I suggest this is the disclaimer in at great length. What we do as a ritual is we all go one by one saying our name, and I say I agree. So we can start with Divakar. If you're hearing me, Divakar.
Hi, Divakar Rajsekharan. I agree.
Thank you. Gandharv, welcome.
Morning, Sumit. Gandhar Dhingra, I agree.
Thank you. Ashmita, if you can hear me.
Yeah, good morning, Sumit. Yeah, I agree.
Thank you. Mani, Mrityunjay.
Yeah, hi, good morning. I'm Rityunjay Agarwal and I agree.
Thank you, sir. Rahulji, welcome.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. This is Rahul Laganwal. I agree.
Thank you, Sachinji. Sachin Mahajanji.
Sachin here, I agree.
Thank you, Shailendraji.
I agree.
Sir, first your name and then agree.
Okay, morning to you all. Seven Shukla, I agree. Correct.
Thank you. Shivai.
Morning, sir. Shivai, I agree.
Thank you, sir. Shiva. Shiva from Bangalore, I guess. Shiva, can you hear me?
Hey Sumit, good morning. I can hear you. I don't understand. I mean, are you asking? Are we agreeing with the disclaimer or something?
Yes, that's it.
Absolutely. Yeah, agree.
Thank you. Thank you. So let's get started, guys. I want to give you how we're going to run the show. It's basically we have a top-down approach. We'll start with looking at what's happening in the global markets. How is the Indian market positioned? What are the industries and sectors which are showing some kind of a momentum? And who are the leaders and laggards within that industry? What are some stocks showing direction? Are we ready to pick up some of these? So guys, from our previous discussion, those who were there last week, we said the market is going to stay sideways. We're not expecting any big movement. I think that's been clearly verified. Markets haven't gone too much too far. We said in the cash markets, you'll probably see IGL, MGL, the gas companies moving up. And I think there was logical reasoning behind that also when we were looking at the commodity prices. So natural gas prices, you can see it's one of the commodities which have increased substantially in the last 1 year, 1 month, 1 week. Of course, there are some further interesting commodities like nickel, aluminium, and associated companies continue to rise. I also want to take your attention to coal, which is probably now sitting at a rise on a year-on-year basis at 300%. 300%. That's a crazy. And I'm keeping a watch on Coal India. We can discuss Coal India as a stock. It's probably going to go up. That's what I feel, given the monopoly. Monopoly, I would say near monopoly that it carries within India. So that was the view on cash markets. I think Adani Wilmar Gandharv, which you asked me last time, it also went up significantly. So I hope you took advantage of that. We also had discussions on FNO, Motherson Sumi, which I think you did cash out very well. And we discussed buying Jubilant Foodworks for covered calls. Um, let's keep a watch on Jubilant Foods, how it spans out. If I think Archit used to have Jubilant, we'll talk about it once he joins. Uh, Talking about the global markets, very, very messy situation continues to be in Russia. Of course, the stock market reflects the same after I think 2 weeks of being shut. It's once it's open, you see how the volatility is. It's coming down. Apart from that, the European markets stabilizing. Hong Kong situation, of course, reflected by China, doesn't seem to be too promising with the virus stepping up and lockdowns being announced over there. Interestingly, doesn't spill over the rest of the world, and you see minor movements, slightly positive in Americas. India here is slightly negative. So stable markets overall in this week, I would say. One thing I wanted to share that there are two markets that made an all-time high in this week, and that's Canadian market and the Istanbul Turkish market, I would say. So here is how Canadian market was going up, and you can see this week it has made an all-time high, especially when a situation where like this, where markets are being bit threatened about how the war will span out, what will be the outcome, what will be the long-term impacts. You can see that Canadian stocks primarily included, sorry, the Canadian primary exchange includes energy stocks and again commodity driven moves. You can see in this week itself, all energy, drilling, oil, and primarily energy and resources stocks that you see here on the screen are taking a rise and pushing the index to a new high. And I find it very interesting because when you see patterns working across the globe, the energy companies moving up, oil companies moving up, or commodity driven stocks moving up, it's not a surprise that even in India, the energy, power, metal, oil and gas sectors are further creating new highs. And I really like some stocks within this sector. We've been talking about power index for the last few weeks. We've talked about energy, oil, and gas. But if you're looking for some really good gains, probably they are sitting, the opportunities are sitting somewhere here in auto, banking, FMCG, financial services, and reality. So this is something, I continue to hold my view or my opinion upon. If you have something different in terms of a thought, you could let us know. Shalenderji's request last time came in that we should capture FII DIA activity. Interestingly, we've been able to do that now. This is all automated, so let me know
Yeah,
if you feel
awesome.
any discrepancy here. During the week, FIIs, the red color suggesting they were sellers. We as a DIIs, I think the mutual fund guys gave a very interesting push here, or they balanced it out. I think the starting of the week, both of them actually were sellers, but towards the last 2 days, towards the end, DIIs became buyers. If you can see the blue lines sticking out much further ahead from the red lines, that suggests some buying activity coming from DII. I can also start showing you, and this is a feature that I wanted to include, which are those stocks these institutions are buying. So I'll give you a sense very quickly. Monday, FIIs, DIIs were bullish on healthcare, IT, a bit of Delta Corp, which I shared with you. So tourism, healthcare, IT on Monday. Again, IT and cement, metals, healthcare, tourism again. So you can see metals are coming back. No surprises on that because of the commodity boom coming in. And talking about Thursday, again, IT and healthcare. So they were buying this. Of course, we know about Z, what has happened in Z. Friday, again, tourism, cement, and so on. So cement we've been talking about, we will not talk about it again. I can show you one other thing, what was happening from a selling perspective. FMCG, big falls coming in FMCG. People are exiting. I don't think this is any longer being seen as a safe sector to park the money. Godrej Consumer Products, Dabur, Hindustan Unilever, Nestle, they're traditionally well, I would say, um, it will be, what would be the right word here? I mean, always trusted stocks that would not show very high volatility. I think they are giving some jitters or fears to the consumers whether uh, they have the capacity to pass on the rise in raw material costs to the final customers. Is that going to really happen? Most of the DIIs, FIIs think that's not going to be the case, and so there will be margin pressure. So FMCG stocks going down again. So especially if you see the common one here, Dabur went down on Tuesday, Dabur went down on Wednesday, followed by Britannia. I also see within the financial sector big dumping happening in Kotak Bank. So in fact, this is Canadian pension scheme dumping 3% of Kotak, portfolio out of their 3% of equity from their portfolio, which is pretty big in size. So this is something that we witnessed, and what it really meant here is I can show you in terms of the curve. When I come to Bank Nifty here, it did not even manage to reach its average level. So we have been talking about Bollinger Bands here, and those who've done technical probably would know this. This is the 20 SMA line. It Bank Nifty took a sharp turn downwards. Nifty did not make that sharp of a move, but it respected this 20 SMA very, very clearly. So I'm quite, I would say, sure that if a move has to come beyond this line, it cannot come without the financial stocks or the banking stocks actually giving us a support or a rise. So coming back to where I was, financial under pressure even on Friday, couple of themes that seems to stem out this week are rise in broadcasting and cable companies, rise in healthcare. And there is, if you do a quick search on Google, there is reason to believe. There was an article in most of the dailies, financial dailies, suggesting that Indian pharma companies may replace the Western manufacturers in Russia. And when I see the details, what are they really focusing on? They say companies like Dr. Reddy's, um, Sun Pharma, Cipla, Lupin, they seem to already have a presence in Russia, and probably they would be the more preferred suppliers to the pharma majors over there because the Western manufacturers would be replaced. So I found a very detailed article around how Dr. Reddy definitely gets benefited from this. Interesting names that come up here is JB Chemicals, which I started to look up. JB Chemicals. Has anybody heard of JB Chemicals? Anybody invested in JB? So this could be some stock, I would say, if you understand technicals, probably it's sitting in a monthly demand zone and might rise up. Since the name has already appeared in the news and not gone up, unlike Dr. Reddy, which has moved up already in this week. JV Chemicals, Cipla, Lupin could be your next bets to watch out for. I'll just take a pause to take reactions, to take thoughts and comments before I move ahead to the next set of themes. Yeah, Divakar.
Sumit, okay.
Yeah.
Sumit ji, एक observation था, can you help me out in that? If you don't, I don't. ये जो आपने बताया ना 3% FFG वगैरह जाए, if you remember that during the COVID time they were at the peak.
Correct.
है ना, तो अगर if you put the high and the low also of them ना, along with the weekly details ना, it will give us a clear idea. That's all.
Sorry,
because the 2 years everything has happened in two. Any of the sectors, no sector one. But the first slide because you were narrating, I didn't interrupt in between.
Yes,
so the first slide of sector.
Are you talking about this slide?
No, इससे पहले वाला.
Okay, are you talking about this slide?
All these now. Now
Yeah.
they were the because see the market change has taken place after 2020.
Company. I forgot.
Right.
This balancing factor is the COVID factor.
There was one FMCG company.
Right.
And उसके बाद dip हमने फिर अभी जाकर के लिया अक्टूबर में लिया है. So think that that point also in mind. -3 है पर FMG has given us quite a lot.
Right. So of
That's
course,
all. Thank
profit
you.
booking and no
Yes,
longer
yes,
the
yes.
most favorite sector.
अभी
Right.
प्रेजेंट के लिए बिल्कुल सही है कि अभी नहीं है क्योंकि अभी नीचे जा रहा है तो हमको सबको मालूम नहीं है पर कितने ऊपर जा चुका है वो देखना पड़ेगा हाई एंड लो.
आपके लिए ये बता दूं कौन से सेक्टर फेवरेट चल रहे हैं. मीडिया, pharma, IT. They have shown a jump. Last time around, if you see, IT was sitting probably here. Pharma was here. Pharma में बहुत major jump आया हुआ है. FMCG has gone down. Auto is probably again gone down. So yeah, they are sitting in the low performing quadrant. And here are your good sectors, the growth sectors, I would say, coming up here. Yes.
Infrastructure भी आज बहुत low हो गया.
Can we look at the charts of Cipla, JB Chemical, and Lupin? So basically, we can see which is at the right juncture.
So I was showing. So yeah, this is Dr. Reddy, which has already got the attention of the FIIs, DIIs, and it's this is a situation where I mentioned that the stock is reversing from its monthly demand, and there is reason to believe. If you just Google, Dr. Reddy and Russia, you'll probably see the linkage. Let's have a look at. Just showed you JB Chemicals. Let me show it once again. JB Chemicals is again, trying to show some early indication on reversals. If the reversal hasn't happened, we are waiting for a big volume to step in here to take the stock. Of course, I think the strengths continue to be in favor of Dr. Reddy's, which has the deepest penetration not only in Russia but throughout Europe. So just keep a watch on Dr. Reddy's. Let me also look at Lupin. So what's the story with Lupin? Some early movement. I haven't seen a big explosive candle here. Cipla continues to be on the rise. It's been there, I think, ever since. It is coming down. If I want to do some Fibonacci here. So what is my Fibonacci actually telling me? Let's quickly check. Yeah, so if it takes a pause at 0.618 and then shows a reversal, well and good. So we'll just have to keep a watch on these. In fact, the move has already come in early part of March in Cipla. And if you see where Cipla stands on a monthly basis, it's pretty high on the curve. In 2020, stock price used to be 400, and now it is close to 1,000. So it's always been on the rise. I just hope it continues. There is some scope here. Of course, don't expect the rise just like you've seen in the last 2 years. It's just not possible. But some swing movements definitely could be seen. Any other stock which I missed out here? Lupin, did you say? Sure. Lupin, yeah, movements coming in. Does that help, Gandharv?
Yes, Sumit, Lupin. Yes, Sumit, Lupin, because Jhunjhunwala has also invested in Lupin heavily.
And Pharma,
So
Glenmark,
any
sorry.
move comes.
Yeah, definitely. So keep a watch on who
And
all.
Concor is also coming up.
Concor, we'll come to logistics, sir. We'll come to logistics.
Okay.
Sun Pharma. Yeah, Vijay.
Okay, you completed.
If I correctly identified the voice. Yeah. So see what's happening with Sun Pharma. It's probably going to give a breakout. The previous monthly supplies have. Yeah, let's keep a check. So it's been constantly pushing, not there completely, but if you see a closing this month outside this blue line, you probably would experience Sun Pharma going up till 1100 and all. So that's how the workings have been done already. And those who've done harmonic patterns and all, I don't think I don't see anybody who's done the mastery course with me here, but here is a harmonic pattern, Gartley pattern, so it's quite expected that the stock should go up. Anyway, Glenmark was the last one mentioned in that article, so let's keep a watch on Glenmark. It's a low on the curve. Scope, of course, continues to be till 1380. How it spans out, it's sitting somewhere in a gap. A couple of days back, it probably made a gap zone. I think you guys remember what a gap is. So this is where the gap was created on, oh, interesting. 20th June, the gap was created. There was a nice jump in Glenmark. So far, that gap has not been closed, and the stock has come again to take support in this region and probably going to go up at least these levels of 575, 625, and so on. So I'm quite gung-ho if this war situation continues. There are companies that are going to be benefited out of it, and clearly some of the steel companies, drug companies are being benefited. And when there is official news like this that Russia does want to see India playing a big role in this sector, I think nothing denies or nothing is going to be stopping these companies from coming up. So that's one theme. We can keep a watch. Oro Pharma has a slightly different story, but it's still coming up. If you know what, I think there's an investor in Oro Pharma that has come in, and they're buying big, pretty big in Oro Pharma, and you see how it's just jumped up from 0.618 Fibonacci levels, and that's where you see it's stuck here and it should go up. The interesting part is that this major fall needs to be covered up, and so there is enough scope till 900 for Oro Pharma. So you could look at that. Also, coming back to my next theme, we saw a rise in broadcasting and cable companies. And when I say that, it basically means even news broadcasting companies, which I never thought was showing a big rise in margins or subscriber base and all. But there is something underlying in this sector is merger activity, M&A activity going on. So Z and Sony merger has been probably approved and going to go ahead. There is belief that NDTV is also going to be acquired by Adani. Via this is again TV18. There is a big stakeholder coming in, and related to that, you will also see, the movie hall companies like Inox and PVR, especially with this blockbusters like Kashmir Files. I think they are also thinking of a grand, I think, customer base coming back to the theaters. So this one,
Yes.
I would say, yes. Anybody has a comment? Yeah, Vijay. Was
Yeah,
it
yeah.
Vijay?
Sumit, I just want to tell about this Sony and Z
Sure.
merger, and
Hmm.
Escons, I think. If I'm not saying, 1 minute,
Hmm.
I'll get that
Hmm.
company name right. Escons, right? Not Escons. Invesco. So Invesco,
Invesco was one of the
yeah,
investor in Z,
yeah, yeah.
and they,
He
yeah,
is
go ahead.
investing in Sony, and he, not Z. So that, I don't have much details. I didn't look into that. You have any
Hmm.
insight what happened on that? Why Invesco is backing
See,
Sony and not Z?
so basically, whatever issues they had with
Ah,
regard to the merger, I think they have been sorted
yeah,
out.
yeah.
Let me tell you, the merger was announced somewhere here in September. Okay, and that's
Right,
how the stock like really shot up from 200. It went up to 340,
right,
and then
right.
this one of the major investors, Invesco, said that they are not happy with this arrangement. They were even not happy with the CEO. So they were
Yeah.
trying to get rid of the CEO. They were trying to hold EGMs for that, but then now they have said that we are comfortable. We do not want this. And ever since that news has been announced, I think just have a look
Yes.
on this date itself. If I talk about this date, the rise in the stock was close to 17 to 20%. They made the stock made a nice gap up. This is a gap up here. I'm going to mark it as my gap up. So we'll keep a watch on this. What this essentially means, if you are planning to buy Z, you can use this gap zone for your stop loss. And we think
Okay.
if ever this stock is going down below this gap, I mean, this news has been quite positive for Z. Any sector which is supposed to see M&A activity, which brings in synergies and so on, I think the company involved, gets benefited. The stock price needs to be shouting literally, and this is the only way companies in media right now can grow. By combining distribution or by combining activity. They don't rather need to compete with each other, but combine. So if you're planning to buy on Friday, the stock has come down slightly. If you buy it on a Monday, wherever that is, keep a stop loss somewhere below this gap level. And I'm pretty hopeful that the rise that was replicated here in September, at least it should go up till 370. And if even if that happens, we do have good 70-point moves waiting for us. So let's keep a
Okay.
watch on this. There is I mean, the stock is in FNO. So if you want to take advantage of FNO, how do you do that? I think most of you know by now. And this, even a small rise in Z can give you good number of bucks in the FNO space. So let's keep a watch on this. On the positive side, I'm bullish on Z. And there are other also names that were coming
Is
out.
Sony also? Can you see
Sony
Sumit?
is not
Sony
listed. I don't think
not
Sony is
listed.
listed. No,
Okay, I
Sony is
didn't.
not listed.
Sony is not listed.
Not in
Sony
India.
Entertainment.
Not sure. No, don't see anything here.
No.
Yeah, but NDTV is, I think, if you're keen. There was this discussion. I mean, if you do the searches online, this, there is some renewed interest, new volume coming in NDTV in this last week itself. The stock has shot up, and if I just give you the numbers of the monthly gains, here's what you need to see: 69%, just 69% in 1 month, and that too in a crazy month where Nifty was falling initially and then probably stabilized. How NDTV managed to get up to this level? There's enough scope, by the way. If NDTV kind of a stock gets acquired by a big name like Adani, I think they get enough resources, money, leadership, and whatever is required from that matter to grow. I think all that is going to come from that parent company, and that's what makes these stocks grow faster. You guys, just once again, I need to have a glass of water or tea. Sorry, guys, I'm back now. Yeah. Any thoughts? Any comments on this one?
So, Sumit, one question on this. So, has Adani historically had any media exposure in any other form or
They have
any allied?
they have just recently bought something. Not too sure, but like Reliance, uh, Reliance, I think, has some media exposure. So
They
Adani
had
is
TV18,
following.
right?
Yeah.
Reliance. So, I mean, TV18, they got, or rather, Network 18, I think they got a long time ago. They acquired a lot of internet properties also around that time.
Mm, mm.
It didn't really work out very well for them, right?
It's always
At
good
least
to have
whatever they
presence.
got.
It's always good to have presence because they can control the media. That's what they want. Once you're
Right.
becoming as
Right.
big as Reliance, I think you definitely want to keep a watch on what's the sentiment, negative or positive, being thrown out and
True,
control it.
true.
So here is something. If I do Google, Dani has forward. I mean, just entered into media through this company, and I don't know where it's based and what does it do. I'm not looking into it right now, but yeah, this recently started to enter the media business.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Yeah.
Cool. So that's another thing you can watch out for certain stocks. I definitely believe PVR, I know, is still still one of the favorites, when it comes to media, and Z could be another one where you can take advantage through FNO. On a lighter theme, there is something which probably Mr. Gandharv can shed some light if he's following the hospitality industry even now. So I saw news which suggests that the MICE, which is the acronym for meeting, incentives, conferences, and exhibitions, are back in fashion, and a lot of these hotel are being, are getting booked, or their room rates are increasing because people too want to do their offline meetings. So if I see what's happened during the week, if you see the weekly numbers here, um Indian hotels rising 10%, Lemon Tree rising 10%, Shalets and others. Interestingly, I think this is, I don't know how would I put it, but maybe ITDC was a surprise for me because they have their own like low budget hotels and so on, which was probably one of the strongest, jump which I have seen this week. ITDC, and I think that jump came on a Friday or something. Let's have a look. So this could be another theme. Gandharv, are you still watching the hospitality space? Given your
Not really,
background?
Sumit. Not really. I haven't kept an eye on these stocks. I had this one Mahindra Holidays a while back.
Oh yeah, Mahindra Holidays is also doing good. I think started rising during this period. So let's keep a watch. Yeah. So on this 22nd, it jumped 10%, and probably still waiting for the next move. And I think it's quite positive. It should go up from a weekly perspective. Things are pretty okay within the GAN. They've taken nice support. There's ample scope. So I think if you just think about where would people like to go, take a holiday and all, uh, yeah, Mahindra Holidays,
Correct.
Lemon Tree.
Plus, with the international travel now open up, we might look at
Absolutely.
airline stocks as well.
Absolutely. So, in fact, today as we talk, the ban on international flights has been taken off. So from today, people will start traveling for tourism purposes also. Of course, the beneficiary continue to be the aviation stocks. Within that, Indigo seems to be the strongest player. You could also see it BLS. So for those who don't know what BLS as a company is doing, it is responsible for your visas, passport services, and all. So the data processing, I think even for that matter, the operation management is done by BLS, and it's not just in India; it's across countries. If you see, it's a 4-decade-old company. It's one of the top three global players in the visa application outsourcing, and I think Indians are pretty crazy about going outside India. And maybe if this could be for long-term purposes or short-term temporary visits, irrespective, you will probably utilize the services of PLS. If I just see the stock of PLS, so I think things are pretty going good for this one. In August, it took a dip because of this new virus threat that came in, which did not last for long, and it could be very well on its way up to 300 and beyond. So I'm not going to be surprised if PLS comes up. Interesting stock related to travel is VIP Industries. If I show you VIP Industries, you'll probably be surprised how the stock has moved up since the COVID threat. So just see from March 30th, where the stock used to be 200 rupees. It's just a small player. Sorry, it's a small cap player selling luggage, and I think those who haven't used their luggage for long, they'll probably be looking out for buying new pieces of bags and whatever you need. Already making new highs this week, touching 706. not be surprised if it's going to go up further. So keep a watch on this. If you're planning to ride on the trend of travel, tourism, hotels, hospitality, there are a number of
Are there
stocks.
any forex players?
I
I
was
remember
looking for that. I
Thomas
mean,
Cook and all.
maybe there is a service. Uh, Thomas Cook had very bad publicity a couple of years back, if you recall.
Yeah.
So yeah, could be. I mean, if you're the one who uses Thomas Cook, why not? For that matter, you have MMT, but not listed in India, right? I think it's Make My Trip. It's MMT should be NYC listed. Not sure why it's not coming here. Make My Trip or Easy Trip kind of companies could also get benefited out of this.
Just type the full name.
Yeah, Nasdaq. MMYT. Oh, I'm so sorry. Guys, this is a US listing, so be careful. Yeah, so if Indians travel abroad or domestically, then the stock should go up. On a weekly basis, the RSI seems quite promising. Oh, even on a monthly basis, it's pretty, neutral at the moment. I just see what's happening in this last week itself, especially once this news has come up. I think the stock has gone up from here. It's sitting at a good point. If you see jumps happening above these three average lines, probably you're probably good to stay invested, and then you have rise up till this level somewhere here. This is US dollars, remember, from 25 to 34. So that could be another idea for you guys. Yeah, so these three themes seem to be the one which you could focus on. Any other theme that you guys have
Yeah,
observed? Yeah,
yeah,
go
that
ahead.
Ease My Trip, all these, Make My Trip kind of portals are like
Oh, Ease My
making.
Trip is there. Ease My
Yeah,
Trip.
that's
I'm
what.
so sorry.
Yeah,
I missed out on this. So, wow, I would be keen on this. Let's have a look at some of the numbers
the
here.
new player, Smith.
Yeah, I
Or
mean, I
is it new
don't
player?
think there is stickiness on old players or new players now. So
Okay,
this could be, yeah. So this could easily get benefited if a customer or consumer sees that they are offering room at lower or whatever fares at a lower rate. I just want to be careful about the margin. Margins seem to be pretty good, close to 46%. Wow, never thought company like this would have it. Let's also quickly spend some time on what the technicals and things. So there are some buy signals coming on the technical side. The company is not that big. It's a 7,300 crore company. But still okay. I think MMT still rules, but if you find lower prices on this, people will come to it. Uh, Bus bookings, travel packages. Okay, so they are catering to everything. I think yes, this is another stock I would want to keep a watch on. So I'm going to add it on my game plan. Game plan has a couple of them. I will add this, and it's in. Let me see where it goes.
Sumit, one quick question. Since all these they are bearish, that's what you showed us in the beginning. So how much of investment are we supposed to make? If you're looking at, I mean, the short term or whatever it is, apart from options, how much we can invest, because it's now things are bearish and it's going to settle probably. I don't know.
because
So
because overall things are bearish in Nifty, and Nifty
correct.
as such
Yeah.
will not move
Yeah.
till you see this banking stocks moving up. So that's where
Yes.
you need to be sector specific. That if you are betting
Okay.
on a sector, you need to be very clear on the theme, and that's why for the
Okay.
last 3 weeks we have been discussing strong themes, and they are
Okay.
to large extent consumer driven themes, commodity driven themes, which we are quite confident about. And when I say confident, let's say when I've been discussing oil and gas or energy companies, that scenario hasn't I mean, it's not just Indian scenario. I just showed you the Canadian stocks and so on, right? It spans out. I mean, it's a natural phenomena. If you see commodity prices moving up, and especially the crude prices, gas prices moving up, you will probably not stop buying it. And these companies do have an advantage of passing on the rise in raw material to the customer. So, and the government also likes to support them in such activities. So that's where you will probably see the stock prices for these stocks rising. However, when it comes to the FMCG kind of stocks, or the India consumption story, things are pretty unfavorable because they are not capable of passing the inflation pressures to the customers. And for that matter, when I say consumer story, even consumer appliances, auto, which is consumer durables, you will postpone your purchase. And if you're postponing those purchases, that means you're not even, I mean, not everybody takes a loan, but let's say I would want to take a loan when I go and buy a dishwasher or a refrigerator. So even small loans, so the financial services are still not, gaining. The bigger loans, which Nifty bank stocks, would include where it comes to buying a house, buying a car, all that. I mean, can you just see how interrelated this quadrant is? Guys sitting here, the financiers are sitting here, those who are providing the product, they're sitting here, because this is an area where we can postpone our purchase. Healthcare, oil and gas, I mean, all that, we probably will continue to use it. Metals and energy also get benefited because
Semiconductor. Sumit, semiconductor, one company, I forgot that name. Semiconductor one, which is in news now.
Vedanta has probably been coming in again and again for all this. In fact, oh wow, since you just mentioned, I'll go back to that. Where is my slide on commodities? Nickel. If you see, nickel prices have gone up close to 120%. And in India, Vedanta continues to be the sole nickel producer. After it has purchased this guy, Nicomet. Now it is the lone nickel producer. And what else do we need? I mean, I am holding Vedanta. Whatever it's going to do, I'm going to hold it for long term for sure. So this week also Vedanta has moved up. It has been placing ads that we are dependent on imports for aluminium. Support Vedanta. Vedanta is becoming the aluminium producer and all. It has been placing full page ads for that. I'm still more, of a, I would say, speculator on nickel as such, because it's become the sole producer. So whatever is your view around metals, Vedanta has something to offer. I think when it comes to semiconductors, let me take
there
the
are
help from,
two players.
It's collaborated with Foxconn, I guess.
I'm sorry, who?
Sir, it is collaborated with Foxconn for the semiconductor.
Vedanta, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that would be an interesting, venture, because if India starts, oh, awesome, the chip venture. I think a lot of companies were trying to do this, but Vedanta has been very quick, and it's ideally suited for Vedanta to come up with this kind of a chip, rather than anybody else. So the market actually going to reward those who are best suited for that activity. That's how we look at it. So if you want to buy something for long term, Vedanta is definitely the case. I mean, this is not going to be an overnight story. Keep that in mind. If you want to see the journey, I'm showing you, let me show you the monthly view of Vedanta. Now, Vedanta, ever since this COVID situation has come, it's been on the rise. I think there have been very few months where it's not risen. It's moving, it has come into a channel. See the dotted lines, and probably if I place another dotted line here, the channel would be respected. The scope is up till 500 for sure. given the nature of business that they are into, it could go even beyond. But definitely 400. Sorry, what is this? 500. I'm so sorry. 400 is where it is right now. 500 it could go. Clearly 25% space available for you.
So, Sumit, I just wanted to add here.
Yeah.
You could play the semiconductor theme as both a manufacturer and a service provider. So, in terms of manufacturer, the current ones are only Amber Enterprises and Dixon. But if you look at the services line, it's Tata Elxsi, KPIT, and Cyient.
Tata, so yeah, I'll talk about IT. So IT, within IT, what we're witnessing that so this is Tata Elxsi, brilliant
Yeah, so
performance.
these are all plays on semiconductor services.
Yeah. I am of the view as a IT sector might not be growing, but then there would be pockets, and there definitely not be the large caps, which will show the big moves. It will be these Birla Soft, Coforge, Tata Elxsi, which could move up. So we have to be very, very. If you are still gung ho about the IT segment, I think start looking at these services, exact services what Diwakar is talking about. If that's something they offer, maybe there is an
Mindtree is
opportunity.
another one, Sumit, that can be looked
Yes,
at.
Mindtree. Yes, in fact, the Mindtree was one of the in our list this week. If you see, so Intellect. Sorry, I need to show you Intellect, like mind-boggling performance. So Intellect. Sorry, this is Monday. Comes Intellect within IT. Intellect comes again on Tuesday. Birlasoft also comes in. I don't see anything here. IT Mindtree comes in very clearly, and that's a good jump of 4%. Intellect again on Friday. So have a look at Intellect this week. So what? Intellect Design, and this is an FNO stock, guys. Just look at the jump. Just look at the jump this month. Sorry, what was this jump? 30% this month, 30% in Intellect Design. And there's good volume also. See, in just a month's time, it's moved up from 621 to 858. What a massive jump. So, yeah, looks pretty good.
Okay. Sumit, on the British Petroleum exit from Russia and their collaboration with Geo. So, what's happening on that front? His CEO is talking about, energy, India can be a leader and things like that. So, do we have anything on that? Geo merger, not merger, I don't know. Geo plus British Petroleum. Because they have exited from Russia now. And his CEO spoke on other day saying that energy in energy India can be the leader and take a lead on that. So do we see a promise there for us? Because Geo is joining hands with BP, I suppose. I don't know. I just saw one logo which had written BP plus Geo or something like that.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. It was written in one tank or something. I don't know. I didn't see it. Just it went away. I just saw that when he was
We'll
speaking.
have to do some research. Nothing is coming up front.
Upfront, because he
Yeah.
spoke after the exit from Russia. He said India can, and then I saw that logo Geo and all. I was thinking, oh, they already started collaboration with Geo, is what I was thinking. But I didn't look into that. I thought maybe I'll ask you. You would have more insight on that. He was saying India to take lead in energy sector, so they can take a lead and be a leader, something like that. He was saying.
Okay, we'll search around that.
Yeah, maybe later. So I just thought I'll tell.
Okay. Right. Any other theme?
Sir, I wanted to share a chart of alkyl amines. I think it's again in that gap up zone, and it's in the verge of breaking out the falling channel.
Possible. So here's the gap. alkylamines and
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That gap, and if you draw a falling channel line from this, you are viewing daily chart, no? 1 second. So the
how do you want me
31st
to draw?
December candle, 31st December, the candle,
Okay, I'll do that.
the lower,
So this is where you want me to start, right?
the
This is
bottom
where
of the
the
falling
channel.
channel.
Yeah. So where do you want the channel to begin from? Here, or should I start from here? Where do you want?
No,
Should
sir.
I?
It should be the bottom of the channel. No, 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 sir. Not
Hmm.
from there.
Okay. Why don't you just create it? WhatsApp me and I'll display it.
That's okay.
Make sense? Okay.
Yes,
Cool.
yes, yes, sir.
So let's continue our discussion.
Sumit, one
Let,
question I have on power and energy and the mix of that.
let,
So energy
let
also
me.
has a lot of.
Yeah. Sorry. Let me just open up that sector for you. Yeah. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah.
Power.
So energy in itself has a lot of energy or power producers also, right? In terms of say gas players or petroleum players. But from a transmission and distribution perspective, the power companies really, Adani Transmission and all that, all the raw material costs are going up. And India, in the global cycle, typically energy spikes during the winter. But right now
Right.
in India, energy requirements spike during the summer because we
Right.
need more for air conditioning and cooling down, right? So
Okay.
the raw material costs are going up, but consumption costs, especially from power uh, prices perspective for the end user, can't really get jacked up in line with the rising costs. Also, won't
Right.
that create a
Right.
pressure on transmission and distribution companies like
Yeah, I'll
Torrent
tell you.
Power?
I'll tell you. See, you have a view on the power sector from a consumer, just like the way we use it. But right now, there were two other themes that were spanning out. One, power transmission in general has to be improved across the country to have electric vehicle infrastructure or ecosystem. That's where Tata Power, Adani Power are taking a lead, complete lead around. The transmission also. And then for creating infrastructure also you need a lot of power. Okay, so that's, I would say, the additional. I mean, if one particular segment is not able to afford expensive power, it has to be compensated through the others, right? So very very clearly, it's not just the consumer directly that are consuming electricity. When you have the infrastructure, it will be probably a recovery mode in the few years. When you are charging your vehicle, I mean, just don't imagine that will be 50% drop. When I take an electric vehicle, that this investment in infrastructure to build this, to make it happen, I think that's where the government will start doing recovery. I mean, how important oil and gas is when it comes to taxes. You think the government will just give away? I think here the government
Right.
has an opportunity. Whatever it will capture, it will probably stay at home rather than giving it to Saudi or Russia, for the oil prices. So I am pretty confident about the power sector, being taking a lead for the next few years. You'll see these companies becoming really, really strong, and strong among them, definitely Tata Power, Dani, and so on. Power Grid, the other companies continue to be there, but eventually the shift will come. So I'm seeing how Reliance has grown through oil. Adani is probably going to grow through power.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Sumit.
Great. There's one company, since we are looking at power, CG Power, this week has come up like crazy. CG Power. When nobody else was growing, this company started to grow. So I'm wondering why it jumped. There could be something, some contract, something. It used to be here last week, and from the worst quadrant, it has jumped to the best quadrant. So we can look into that. Although I'm not suggesting right now buying anything in power, but one or two stocks always keep moving. Yeah, Archit,
Yes, sir. I've shared in the group.
you shared in the group. Okay, let's see. It's not downloading. Are you still uploading?
No, I think it got sent. Wait, I'll check.
Yeah. So here is the point which I was mentioning around IT. When you see the IT index, which comprises of the large caps, uh, you see that, and I think they show something I showed you last time also. When all other sectors were rising, IT was falling. Even on a Friday, I think the biggest fall was in IT. So be very, very careful when you're picking up IT stocks. That would be my advice. Further, if you want to go sector by sector, Archit, okay, I think I have it here. Let me somehow display it. Sorry, which company is this? Alkala Mines?
Yes.
Okay, let me add new slide and let's add your snapshot. There we go. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead. So this was the gap with huge volume you mentioned. Oh,
Yes.
here's a channel that you've created.
It
Interesting.
has respected all the points, and recently it has breached the middle line with a good big candle, and now it's, I think, about to breach the falling
Oh, you're saying
channel.
so? Here's where the breakout is coming in.
Yes, I am not saying to invest right now, but we will keep
Watch
this
for
in
the
mind.
breakout.
Be alert.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think these breakouts are pretty good. If I just show you how it spans out in some of the stocks. So this is JSW Steel. I think we created this channel, and see, typically when stocks come out of the channel, they rise, and you'll see enough. If you Google, you'll probably see enough ideas around this happening. How's the breakout going to span out? What are the levels it's going to reach? So this kind of a situation, if it happens in alkalamines, I think it'll be a nice jump. It's basically when a stock is stuck in a channel, it has a restricted movement. Once it goes out of the channel, then it has some more free movement. So thanks Archit for sharing that. Let me give some more names. I think the one which seems to be coming again and again is metal sector. There is metal seems to always kind of jump, I would say, because this is the time where companies have been able to pass on certain benefits, pass on certain price pressures to consumers. Don't see my metal slide. Let me check. Continue to check. Okay. Yeah, there we go. So within that, our Adani Enterprises, Vedanta, we've already discussed. I think JSW Steel, which I just showed you, they seem to be the one promising. Archit, you and I have been in sale together. I think now this week I saw some jumps in sale.
Yes, it's
Should
103 right now, like from the bottom
Yeah,
of 96 or something like that.
yeah. So it continues to go up from here, and if it crosses these blue lines, and again if it breaks out this channel, which I think it should.
Yes, sir.
Uh,
121 was the target, I think, which we thought.
want to-
No,
yes,
121.
yes.
Like the
So
near target.
yes, so Coal India's, I'm again hoping the same story. The nice move coming is, so just few days back, I think towards the end of February, the move came. It took a retracement, then again, and now a jump is started to come in Coal India. This time, I really hope, and I'm holding the stock, should go beyond, or yeah, move beyond 200, because previously it just barely managed to touch 200. It should go further up, and you can check out targets if you Google. Some of the broking houses are giving you targets. If you know how to set targets using the extension tool, you can easily do that. So yeah, couple of these stocks which I stay invested in. I really like them. This is your Adani Power rising, probably getting out of this monthly demand. So much so good. One of the pharma stocks which I have seen rising this week and with good volume for 2 continuous days is Suvain Pharma. It's a Nifty 500 company, so don't be too worried about being very small. What exactly it's doing, we can check. So after Aurobindo Pharma, the other company which I'm into is Suvain Pharma. Chemical product providing pharmaceutical solutions to global life sciences. So I think something if India is becoming the pharma, I would say, supplier or the healthcare supplier to the world, somewhere these companies which are creating those generics or at the background certain chemicals for active pharma ingredients, I think they will also be benefiting because they get the contracts much earlier. So this looks like a nice jump this week when Nifty wasn't moving much. It's already reaching an all-time high. Is there scope? Let's check with RSI. Yes. So if I'm just showing you the weekly charts, RSI is still somewhere neutral. There's ample scope. Can go much beyond that. If I look at the monthly, it's always been up there. So if anybody is holding it, they should be making good money so far. Yes. Any other stock, any other trend, any other question? Anybody doing any FNO in any stock? FNO?
No, sir, just
So Sumit, help me in the Concord.
I'm sorry, I
Yes,
didn't
Sumit,
get your
I
question.
have Whirlpool
Yes,
trade on.
Whirlpool. Right. Let's check. So you did a sell put, right?
Yes.
So there's news that at least in Delhi, temperatures are going to touch 40 degrees next next week itself. We are really hoping this bounce back comes in. It's sitting in a monthly demand.
Yes.
What is the price at which you sold, Gandharv?
1,500.
1,500. Oh, okay. You willing to hold the stock?
Yes, if it comes down, I'll take delivery, but I don't think so. And 4 trading sessions be required.
Yeah. Okay. So
Okay.
so you're in stock till month end, and we are saying 1533 is where it reversed, so it should not go below 1,500. Possible in 4 days time should be okay for you. Yeah.
Hey, Sumit, just to add to this,
Hmm.
and I think last year we had very low temperatures or more plentiful rainfall in India.
Yeah.
So there is, I think it's the La Nina effect, right? I mean, whatever you get extremes of it. So probably this year we could expect sort of soaring temperatures.
Oh.
So all the air conditioner players should definitely do well if that turns out. And I have a short on Tata Power.
Okay.
Um,
And reason being, I mean, just for this month or in general, are
no, it's
you?
a 3-month view. I think somebody mentioned during the call as well that I think that the power companies would face a margin compression because of raw material
Rahul
price.
ji. Yeah. So
So
I completely be by the heterogeneous views. What I'm looking at is this channel. It's kind of started to break out. If it's not
yeah,
able to sustain, yeah, back to the same story. It'll come down here to the green level, which is a demand zone. So, but if you want to stay in these stocks for long term, I don't think you should be too worried because I just told you the story. India, if you just
I
want to get rid of the oil,
uh,
yeah, go ahead.
power sector would also probably go the FMCG way. That's my
Ah,
bet, huh?
so that's the heterogeneous view coming in. Okay.
Isn't that a risky bet, Divakar, with all the infra
So
spend and
yeah,
all the push
Yeah, it's
towards power with coming in.
Yeah, see, I mean, that's the same case with FMCG also, right? They all said that Indian consumption will make sure that FMCG companies always do well. But then when you look at valuations, when you look at cost pressures, all of that has been captured, right? So we've captured the growth of the Indian economy in these stocks for the next, say, 3 to 4 years. They're all trading at absurd valuations, right? So in order to alleviate the risk, what I've done is I put on a very interesting trade. We'll see how it pans out. So I shorted at the money puts, and I
So
bought like
you shorted at the money put on Tata Power.
yeah, and I
Okay.
bought 3x, 210, and 200 puts.
Sorry, and you're saying this is for which month?
For April.
25th March. So you have shorted at 240.
230.
230. Oh, you said at the
It
money
happened
put.
like 3 or 4 days before.
Okay,
So
okay. You
Just
shorted.
for my understanding, you have sold the future.
No,
No, you sold
I've sold
puts.
put actually.
You've sold puts, okay.
So that means you're bullish, right? If you sold the
No,
puts, you're bullish.
I sold the put, but I bought 3x,
Yeah.
210, and 200 puts. So I financed the 200 and the 210 puts using the short of 230.
So
So
you
just to
have
give
created a spread.
You're doing a
You
bear,
created a
you're
spread.
doing a bear put spread.
yeah, sort of.
Yeah. You're
So
saying
I
it's definitely
sold.
going to
It
go
was selling at
down
13, right?
210.
Yeah.
Okay. We can watch.
And as the market keeps going up, let's say it goes against me, so I will roll over the 230 to 240, 250 as it keeps going up.
But how much in how much time frame is it?
It's for a 1 month time period, right? April time period.
In 4 weeks, is it?
Yeah, in 4 weeks.
And you have accounted for the decay period and all everything in that.
Yes.
So if you go to the sensible thing, how much it is showing just now?
I have to calculate that.
I'm showing it. 1 second. Where is this?
Sensible is showing how much?
Yeah, Akar, need your help. So 430, how many? Sorry, 230.
Sell one.
One.
Yeah.
Okay. And sorry, you said 210 you have bought.
2.
Close to 2. Okay, so 2 is to 1. Okay. So.
And 200, 2.
200 also. What is 200? Call or put?
Put.
This is the correct one.
What?
So this is the thing, is it?
I don't understand this. Diwakar.
Yeah. So
इसको आप समझा दो please. हाँ.
Yeah. So my view is that.
Sorry, this is April. This is April, right? What you're saying?
Yeah, it's April.
Okay, let's look at the numbers. Sorry, that's why I was getting a bit confused. April. Yeah, go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the trade, and I'm expecting that once the result season starts and companies start showing that their margins are not protected, I'm sort of playing a big fall in these stocks. And Tata Power is.
Three earning cycles, they missed the estimates. Let's have a look. This time the estimate is slightly higher. What is the profit percentage that they carry? Pretty low. Used to be 8. Now it's coming down. See the quarterly. Okay. So you're saying this number, profit margin, is going to come under pressure. It's going to be further down. And see, earlier the estimates were quite far off, and now they're getting closer. Even the estimates are higher this time. So when is the date coming in? So you're saying the moment results are announced, which is basically 24th May, nothing happening before that. Is that
Yeah.
you've took April bets already?
Yes. Yes. So I will roll it over to
Yeah,
May,
that's the point. That's it.
right? So, but I think once one or two companies start showing their results in April, the whole
Why?
industry will sort of take a tack.
Yeah,
This is my expectation.
why would you not combine it with the futures and create the strategy? So let's say I sell a future for 28th May because that's what you're betting on.
Yeah, and then buy
210 would be
the.
your target. So let's do the call. No, sorry. So I've sold the future. Are you expecting things to go till 200 or
200.
210?
Yeah, 200. I expect it to break 200 or go to that demand zone.
Right. So let me buy a call at 220. Okay. And then my sell put at, so this is for 28. How does this look? Much less in terms of losses, more profits.
Yeah, I think
Sumit,
this.
Sumit, you need to update the sell put also on this.
I'm so sorry, where? Yeah, so less of loss now, 22,000. So this is the
So the
combination
margin,
of futures and
I think
options.
the funds increased, but the loss
Yeah,
declined.
margin needed and the funds got increased by I think 2 lakhs or
Yeah,
something.
because
2
the
lakhs.
sell, yeah, something, one of them was March, so they did not take too much of margin, but since the time has got extended, I think they're taking more. The distance is also too much. Like if you focus on the standard deviations, rather than doing these numbers, if I further reduce them,
What you could do is you could sell a 200. Yeah, you sold us 200 put, right? Yeah.
yeah, so I'm selling at 210. I could even reduce. I'm so sorry. Increase this. Wow, this is a bit unrealistic. But yeah, so here the margin goes down further, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I like these kind of reward to risk ratios, like a 2:1 coming up from a reward risk or a risk reward 0.5. So if you really think that Tata Power will go down, I strongly suggest when you're looking at sensible, try to bring in your chart profitable positive position at least within the second standard deviation, because this is what is suggesting probability how much can the stock move, right? And if it's beyond that, essentially, then I mean, yeah, it could work, but statistically speaking, it's not ideal.
No, I
So
think this
basically,
is.
you're saying that maximum
Yeah,
profiting
yeah,
or
true, Sumit.
profit
Correct.
come under 2 standard deviation.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not happening here, at least what I've seen in sensible, it doesn't happen then. So the
No, this
standard
is good. I
deviation.
think
Yeah.
this is an amazing lesson, which I think I can incorporate in the portfolio. I mean, basically, I have a view. I'm just trying to figure out different ways to realize it with the
Yeah.
least amount
But
of margin and max profs, right? So this
yeah.
is good.
So I am of the view that I'm going to hold it in the cash market. I'm not using FNO because I'm for the long term. But if you say it's going to come down, well and good, I'll buy more.
That's why, Sumit, if you remember, I gave the example also in this now. If one has held a Reliance and that now, then one has taken about on 2 lakhs, one has taken 30,000 rupees on cash market in 1 week.
Okay.
I gave the I've written out also in that this same package अपना ना WhatsApp. हाँ हाँ तो one was Reliance, the other one एक मिनट में check करना पड़ेगा which one was it. If you have put 1 lakh each now, One gave 30% of the return, another gave 15% of the 10%. The average overall it came to 15% of the return.
How much time, sir?
So in just 1 week, this week return.
Yeah. Okay, 1 week
On
return.
not on option, only just buying
In
straight,
cash market,
trading.
in cash market, yes. बट सर ये
Yes,
1 वीक का है 5% दिखा रहा है यहाँ पे रिलायंस में
correct. हाँ,
एंड 2 वीक्स का शायद आप जो कह रहे नंबर वही है फिर एंड
हाँ.
आई एम होपिंग इफ आई फॉलो द हार्मोनिक्स यहाँ तक तो आना
In 1
चाहिए
month, Reliance has given us quite a lot. 30 to
या
20%.
beneficiary तो वही है especially if I go by what Vijaya is saying and we did I think few weeks back we did discuss that Reliance is probably going to start supplying to Europe, you know.
Yes,
So
yes.
why not? I mean, this could be the story. There is one person in our group who I think did mention that 2700 is the target they are putting from a sell perspective on Reliance. So जब तक 2700 के आसपास नहीं आ रहा, that's good. And जिस स्पीड से ऊपर आ रहा है, I don't think it's something.
No, it was ITC and Reliance.
Yeah, ITC
In
and
1
Reliance
month's time, they have given 10% and 30%
तो
in 20 days trade.
हाँ, अगर मैं अभी आपसे पूछूं तो स्कोप तो अभी भी यहाँ पे है, थोड़ा सा है, तो अब यहाँ
है
इतने
ना?
से का
हाँ.
फायदा उठाना है तो आपको एफएनओ ही करना पड़ेगा अगर कुछ मोटा पैसा कमाना है। अब कैश मार्केट ने तो काफी कुछ दे ही दिया है, तो 1.27
कैश मार्केट बहुत दिया.
जी, तो 1.27 फिबोनाची में है, ऑल्दो लॉन्ग टर्म तो लोग कह रहे हैं कि 3000 तक भी जाएगा, सो वी कैन कीप अ
The highest is 27, ना? Highest 27.
2751 या
हाँ, 2751. तो हमारा एक क्वेश्चन और था इसीलिए कि जो 52 वीक हाई पहुंच गए हैं, जैसे टाइटन क्रॉस कर गया, 2-3 क्रॉस कर गए हैं,
टाइटन तो शायद नीचे आ रहा है
अब नीचे आ रहा ना, तो वो जो 52 वीक हाई पहुंच गए हैं, देन दे विल दे प्रोलॉन्ग देमसेल्व्स और इट इज ओवरवैल्यूड और नॉट? बिकॉज द वैल्यू ऑफ
अगर कमोडिटी बीच में इन्वॉल्व है, टाइटन में अगर मैं कहूँ कि गोल्ड इन्वॉल्व है और गोल्ड प्राइसेस अभी भी ऊपर जा ही रही हैं, राइट?
हाँ.
तो इट्स नॉट समथिंग, आई मीन नॉट बी सरप्राइज कि थोड़ा और ऊपर चला जाएगा, बट बहुत भयंकर ऊपर जाएगा ऐसा मानना जरा मुश्किल लग रहा है मुझे,
क्योंकि बिकॉज आई गेव डिटेल्स ऑफ निफ्टी आल्सो. निफ्टी इन अ मंथ इज गोइंग डाउन, बट इन ईयर इज 84% ओवरवैल्यूड.
कम अगेन
You see, निफ्टी का आप खोलेंगे start from day 5 day 1 month and all ना till a year. You see how it is increasing.
एक साल में 18% उसने दे दिया ईयर ऑन
ईयर.
जी, अभी जो सबसे बढ़िया तो चल रही है तो टर्की की है, बट आई थिंक वो भी नीचे आ जाएगी. हैविंग सेड दैट, कैनेडियन तो अपनी ऑल टाइम हाई बना ही रही है विद 18%. तो
करेक्ट, दैट्स इट.
आई डोंट थिंक इस साल आप मतलब अगर आप कुछ डालोगे तो अभी 15-20% निफ्टी से निकालना बहुत ही मुश्किल लग रहा है मेरे को. तो आपको सेक्टर स्पेसिफिक होना पड़ेगा,
बहुत स्पेसिफिक होना पड़ेगा. आई एम विद यू. कैश मार्केट आजकल बेस्ट इतनी वोलेटिलिटी है मोमेंटम में.
जी जी,
आई एम विद यू 100%. थैंक यू.
So Titan, I think 83% of the revenue comes from the jewelry sector, and
right.
अगर उस perspective से बात करें तो I think once this gold rate gets stabilizes to somewhat lower levels apart from this, then we'll see more buying opportunities from a consumer perspective. We can
Correct, that's still right. Correct.
There is another news that India has achieved its export target or something like 40,000 crores, and you know, अगर और export बढ़ाने हैं, which I think Modi is pretty aggressive on. So logistics in general should increase. So this is something which happened on Friday. This is container COP. It rose close to 11% or more, 12% during the day. इस टाइप से अगर आपने, if you want to capture more logistic companies, I haven't put that as a theme, but that could be the case if we are looking at logistics. Yeah. So
I was bullish on exports, but didn't knew the stocks related to it.
I'm giving away. So I mean, shipping में है container corp, Blue Dart है, आपके VGL logistics है, I think getting the name.
Bullish export has gone to about 400 million. 200 से 400 हो गया.
400
Yeah.
million, and apart from that, all the PLI incentive जो schemes है or like
Correct.
boosting.
They're also going up. Yeah, true. ये data चाहिए. These are the key data.
So Aegis Logistics, I think this is also one of the big players. इसमें कोई तो आया था यहाँ पे. इससे स्टॉक शायद उठने वाला है. Let's keep a watch on this one. If I look at monthly, what's doing the monthly rounds here? Anybody remembers any other logistic companies?
Is Adani
Put Concur.
Concor तो हमने देख लिया था.
There's Snowman Logistics.
Yeah.
They had a bumper listing, but then they fell apart.
There was All Cargo, right? And Gati.
All cargo. Marine shipping.
Isn't Gati also listed?
Yes,
Gati is
Gati is listed.
Gati
Gati
is
I think had its good time already. हाँ. तो yeah, Gati में कुछ reversal दिख रहा है इस month. Can keep a watch. I mean, generally, logistics अगर increase हो जाए तो that means the country is back on the move, right? So yeah, if you guys want to explore that and share the list of companies in the group, that will be helpful. That could be another thing.
Sumit, there is one more Mahindra Logistics. It is given in that money
Yes.
control pro.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah.
showing any volume or anything.
तो सर अच्छा है ना, नहीं आई अभी तक. अगर नहीं आई है तो दैट्स एन अपॉर्चुनिटी फॉर इट टू बिल्ड. देखिए यहाँ पे वॉल्यूम आई थी. अगर वाकई में फॉलिंग वॉल्यूम थी तो अगले दिन और नीचे चला जाना चाहिए था. डोंट गो बाय द कलर, जस्ट लुक एट द साइज. वॉल्यूम यहाँ पे तो आई थी. अगर यहाँ से कुछ रिवर्सल हो रहा है बहुत ही अच्छी बात है. एंड लुक एट हाउ द वीकली चार्ट इज शोइंग मी. लेट मी फोकस ऑन द मंथली आल्सो. मंथली में मैं अगर ड्रॉ करूँ तो यहाँ पे मेरे पास एक रैली बेस रैली है. एंड मंथली रैली बेस रैली का डिमांड जोन अगर अच्छे से रिस्पेक्ट हो रहा है तो व्हाई नॉट. व्हाट इज द आरएसआई टेलिंग मी? बीच में आरएसआई महिंद्रा लॉजिस्टिक्स ऊपर जा सकता है.
Mahindra Logistics.
Let me see if I have another marking for Mahindra Logistics. By the way, how many of you are doing your GAN analysis or demand zone analysis? Anybody doing it?
Yes, sir. I
Even
did
if-
last week.
Yeah, even if you put in 3 months, I think you can cover all your F&O stocks. इतना मतलब एक बारी का एफर्ट है. मंथली तो मार्क कर लेने में सबसे इजी रहता है. Let's see if we have some numbers also associated with it coming in. Are there any demands on supply zones? Not really here. If I look at PE ratios and all, PE ratio is very high, guys. Need to be careful. Quarters have not been very good on Mahindra Logistics. I would rather pick up another company doing good on logistics. What will be a better one, guys? Which we mostly use or mostly see around. The Blue Dart seems to be still promising then. At least it is showing better quarter results and yearly results, right? Return on equity is also quite good, close to 19%. It's under a channel. You see, we've been drawing channels quite lately. That's been helping us understand the story. It's stuck at a monthly supply, most likely. Oh, wow. So if our story needs to push that logistics will improve, yeah, I think to some extent 5,000 it will be the last point if it actually comes in, but then it should get out from this zone. That would be my view. I mean, if logistics have to improve in our country, Blue Dart seems to be better positioned. Great. That's it from my side, guys. Any
Sir, I
last?
had a question regarding Reliance. Can you just go back to that thing? that
Which one?
chart. So that thoda sa level bacha hai for the upside that you said.
Oh, so that was on my harmonic class. So let me switch the login. Yep. जी सर बताएं.
Yes, sir. इसमें पूछना था, like you said कि थोड़ा सा up move बचा है cash market, you won't be able to take the advantage. So options में sir, how will we take the advantage of it? Because
वही.
अगर if see कि 2700 पे if we sell call और उल्टा हो जाता है, like it closes 2700, then call side में बहुत ज़्यादा loss we face. तो अगर ऊपर
What is
जाने
your
का है,
strategy? What is your strategy?
I have not yet decided a strategy. I'm just looking that अगर we are what we are betting on कि थोड़ा सा upside पे या फिर after that downside पे.
थोड़ा सा upside. That's what I'm saying. And
थोड़ा सा
even if
upside
it
पे.
goes up, even if it goes up,
Like 100 points or something.
अगर ये ऊपर जाएगा तो एक हफ्ता अगर let's say it's getting stuck here, it's probably going to stay there also for a while. Yes.
Can I suggest a strategy here?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, sure.
Should I go to sensible?
No, you can stay on the chart.
Okay.
I think what I would do is, I mean, this is a very interesting trade. There is a potential for test of the highs or a breakdown. So I would buy a call spread, 2600 and 2700 or 750, something like that. And then in the case that it breaks down, what I'll do is I would sort of roll over that short call that is there, right? To
What is the
2000.
reward for this? What is the risk that you want to carry?
So I actually want, if my view right now would be a test of the highs. So I would
Test of
want
the
to.
highs, you are saying it will definitely touch the previous high.
Yes.
If let's follow that. Let's try to do that. Okay. I'm building a strategy for that. Let's say मैं 31st March के लिए अगर पहले कर लेता हूँ. I'll buy the future. Simple.
So do it for April.
Okay. So I buy the future, and I go to my options. What is my target?
2700.
Right.
27.
So 26.
Or I would buy 2 calls and short the futures.
So once again, I'm going to buy my put just in case I falter. And then what was the 2800?
Sell call.
2750. I'll sell my call, but where is the
2800.
So here's my reward to risk ratio for 28th April. If I lose, I do 17. I gain 33.
If the price goes above 2700 or something, we'll start gaining profit. So
yeah, you start gaining.
but our target is 2700.
Our target is 2800, right? Sorry, 2750 or something. So I've sold a call at 2800.
Perfect.
So if we sell a call on 2800 and the price manages to just touch 27 and then fall down. So 27 पे sir we won't
हमारा
be
तो ब्रेक इवन है. हमारा तो ब्रेक इवन है. If we want to हाँ.
We won't be making much profit अगर 2700 touch करता है तो, because 2800 को कम करेंगे then we can make some profit, I guess.
Which one was better? Sorry, I'm not able to understand. Which one was better? See, if I just play a little bit around with my, what is my put doing? It is giving me a protection कि अगर ये टच करते ही रिलायंस इसके अंदर जैसे आ ही चुका है बाय द वे, अगर टच करते ही मंडे से या ट्यूसडे से नीचे गिरने लग जाता है, who's going to protect me? My put is going to protect me. I bought a put, right? But if I know that the target is close to the previous high, which is 27.6 whatever 40, I'm selling a call around that, right? I'm getting something as a cost recovery for my put, right?
Yes.
तो जितना भी move ऊपर की तरफ आने वाला है futures में, I'm going to capture it. And right now also, if there is a positive move, I think reward to risk ratio still looks good.
Yes, the strategy is fine, but can you just place your mouse to that profit wala line in the 2700 around 2750?
ये है ना, ये break even point है ना, ये.
So I'm just saying that profit कितना होगा like but अच्छा okay 6000
आपका profit ये blue line होगा, the blue line that you see, okay.
अच्छा
But
okay.
on the day of expiry, अगर हमारा stock इस level पे होगा, तो आपका ये green और red line आपको profit बता रहा है. Getting it?
Yes.
If let's say after a week, if after a week 2800 पे पहुंच भी जाता है मेरा stock, even then on that day you are earning 14,000. Remember, you're not earning full 24. तो पूरा अमाउंट एक्सट्रैक्ट करने के लिए इस 2660 वाली कॉल को एक्सपायर होने की जरूरत है. देयर इज 35 पॉइंट्स सिटिंग इन दिस, दैट विल कम ओनली टिल द लास्ट डे. तभी ये जो 14 है वो जाके 24 बन जाएगा.
Then it's good strategy. 14 भी अगर मिल जाए तो that's not bad.
अगर मैं तो कह रहा हूँ 6 भी मिल रहा है तो क्या बुराई है?
6 भी मिल रहा है तो सर margin needed is only less than 1 lakh.
68,000.
If you're getting 6,000, it's amazing, huh?
10%
margin देखिए, वो 6,000 दे रहा है, 10%. Okay, and if we do all this on March, keep it short and simple. Let's see.
Wow, risk reward is
तो बहुत अच्छा है. Why not do it on March? अगर कर सकते हैं तो अगर 2-3 दिन में मिल जाती है move, तो बहुत अच्छा.
Yeah, I think this looks pretty.
This looks good, sir.
Since it's going to test, और अगर हमारा 2700 तक भी पहुंच रहा है, so I'm earning how much? I'm earning 10,000 on that day itself.
Sir, can you just start virtual trade? Just we can look for the next week, like what happened, like
can you?
What
yeah,
can
you
save
just do one
thing?
Can you change the call to April? Keep the rest.
Now you're messing it up. Now you're messing it up. Who is going to protect me in April? अगर ऊपर भाग गया,
we're going to keep the trade only for 6-7 days, no?
ठीक है. I think the ratio is even better. So no, sorry, were we better off this or with that?
No, I think the previous one was better because of max 7. Yeah, it's 6,000.
Roughly the same. But see, expiry, you're not getting. Why are we doing the call sell? We want expiry to happen faster, ना? अगर आपकी expiry 1 महीने बाद हो रही है तो time decay कुछ मिल ही नहीं रहा call का.
No, we want to play the call spread to protect us if our call goes wrong, right? I mean, I think that's the.
No. See, we are playing on the future. Future bought will take us to extreme heights. We have bought the put just in case we are wrong. And to reduce the cost of my put, I am selling the call. That's it. मैं तो इसको और नीचे भी करने को तैयार हूँ.
Yeah, makes sense.
Share it if you guys want it. Oops. Shared it in the WhatsApp. Cool, guys. We'll stop here. I hope you enjoyed the session. Watch out for more interesting themes next week. Join us same time, 11:30. And I'll send you the link to the recording.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Thank you. Have a good week.
Happy weekend.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.